I'm Angeline, Executive Director of United Way of Washington County East. We are a community-based nonprofit right here in the heart of Washington County. Today you'll be hearing from a few people that have been served by the programs we support. My hope is that you'll be inspired to give, volunteer, and really understand the needs of this community.
Our program here is about building a community through positive activities for the youth with games, field trips, activities that they normally wouldn't be able to do. What I've learned from being a past participant and now being on the staff here is the perspective of the children. Understand what they want and what they need and like how they view us. The part that I enjoyed the most about the program was that it was a place to go to. Like, if you were locked out or if you just needed help with something, you could always come here and you know that there was someone here that you could come to. This program is important to our community because it brings us together and just builds on those positive aspects. Teenagers are teenagers and they can get into bad things at that age, and this just gives them opportunities to use their time in a more wise way. Kids in Cimarron usually wouldn't have these opportunities because of the financial state of their parents, and also just everything costs money. So they're always working hard and they're not always there to bring them to sports, let alone pay for the sports. We're here they can do all these things for free, and if there was transportation needed, they provide it. What I learned most from the Family Means Cimarron Youth Development Initiative program was that to be able to grow in a positive way, the positive aspects of life. It lets you be your own person and figure out your own path. My name is Tiki Jadu and I'm a teen assistant at the Family Means Cimarron Youth Program.
If I can just touch one person that hears my story, then I'm okay, because my thing is I want to give back to those that have helped me. I lived in Woodbury. I had a townhome out there, and I had 2 car accidents. I had one in 2006, but then I started back to work and then had another one in 2009. The 2 of them together just really took a toll on me, and so I still tried to go to work, but I couldn't. I was paying what I could. Had exhausted my savings account, my income tax refund, to the point that I didn't have anything else left. And I kept thinking, okay, I can hold it together. It's gonna get better, it's gonna get better. And it just kept going downhill. And my daughter, she worked part-time while we were at the hotel. That's how we were kind of making it through. I'm here at Solid Ground, which is transitional housing, where I pay a percentage of my income toward my rent. It makes it affordable for you to be able to continue to live. They help with education if you don't have that, jobs. They do budgeting. They do a lot of different classes, computer classes. Cindy from Ascend helped me because even though I was at the shelter, she continued to work with me, and I needed $200 to get into Solid Ground, and she connected me with Valley Outreach, which got me into Solid Ground. With the help of agencies like Cindy's, Solid Ground, you can get that second chance, and it's because of the community, people coming together. The biggest gift that God could have ever given me was putting me here at Solid Ground so that my kids can have a place to go. Have a place to call home again, because it was a long time coming.
My mom loved to have fun.
Oh my
and
gosh.
We took her to California when my brother turned 50, and I've got that picture. It's hilarious. But my brother drives a Harley Davidson, so he didn't know that. He knew we were coming, but he didn't know we were dressing up. So we all dressed like Harley chicks, and Mom too. I mean,
In her wheelchair.
In her wheelchair, and we tattooed her and punked her hair and pierced her nose. Oh
and
my
I remember
gosh, it's
spraying
hilarious.
the hairspray was a colored hairspray, and I'm putting it in her, and she's looking in the mirror, and she goes, "Well, all right, more." She wanted more color. To me, she just represented a lot of strength, a lot of grace. She was just a very loving person, never felt sorry for herself.
Mom was kind of unique because she had a stroke when she was 46, and that left her with really, I mean, she could talk, but she couldn't talk in a full sentence. If you asked her what she had for breakfast, she'd be like, oh, but then all of a sudden she'd say a whole sentence.
Well, we knew that it was time for Mom to come into hospice when she was experiencing pain in her legs. And I had taken her to the doctor several times, and you know, they really weren't quite sure what the pain was, and she was actually having pain in her paralyzed leg, which was kind of baffling. We really didn't know what that was all about. A friend of mine works through hospice, and I was talking to her, and she said, well, why don't we just talk to Dr. Bransford and see if we can get her into the gathering.
She lived independently for most of her life with the help of us, but mostly Deb, being there for her. So we've always been her voice, we've always been her hands, her extra hand. We've always been there, and to just hand her over, she was in many ways like our child. So to hand her over to strangers was not a comfort zone for us. For us to come here, there was not one piece of us, any of us, that felt like we were handing her over to strangers. It was more of our extended family caring for our mother, and who wouldn't want that?
And you know, I just have to say, the way Mom died, you couldn't have written it in a movie any better. One day a week they have somebody that plays a harp that comes in, and it happened to be that morning. And there was only 2 patients here, and the other patient didn't want to hear the harp, so they brought it into Mom's room. And so here's this woman playing this beautiful harp music.
Hymns.
Yeah, beautiful hymns. And Denise was there, and my other sister Diane was there. And so I mean, if you could just picture this beautiful music playing, and they said to Mom, would you like to say a prayer? And they said the Lord's Prayer. Did you lay down with her, just hold her hand?
I had my head down by her pillow.
And anyway, they finished that prayer, and they looked at each other and said, I think she's gone. So I mean, my prayers were just so answered. I mean, I never expected 2 daughters to be with her in a harp, but that somebody was with her. It was, I mean, you couldn't have written it in a movie better. It's beautiful.
You know, all of our parents are getting older, and we need to take account into that. What are we going to do? What are their wishes? You know, do they want to be at home? Do they want to be in nursing care? Where do they want to be? And to again look at, we didn't think that Mom would ever have this opportunity.
No.
If it wasn't for the United Way, it wouldn't have happened. We never thought that this was possible. But to check out those possibilities, and when people give, they're giving to families like ours.
I'm Artis Johnson, and my husband is Bob Johnson, and we've been married 33 years and 5 days.
You lose when you lose your driving, you lose your independence. I've been independent all my life, and when I wanted to go someplace, I did it.
Okay, he's talking about the last long trip we took, and that was, I think, 3 years ago. I decided I wanted to go to see where I was born, and that was North Dakota, and it was way up. It's where the oil fields are now, in the northwest corner. And I got there, and I'm not overly impressed with my town. It has 13 people in it. But I stood out in the middle of the street and I said, thank you, Mom, thank you, Dad, for taking me out of here. It was that bad. South Dakota was burnt to a crisp that year, and my town had 13 people. So there was nothing there. But I still went, because I still wanted to go. So I did. But that's one of the things, if you don't have a car, you can't do. Or going downtown, one of my favorite places really in Stillwater is Lowell Park, because I love the river. And we just don't go. We can't get there. And so I don't go. And that's the type of thing that affects your life, is you do not have the same privileges of doing what you like to do.
There is a recognized need for improved transportation in our community. Agencies are working to close the gaps, but the need is great for safe, affordable transportation for those that do not drive, especially our elderly, disabled, and those without a car. Something as basic as going to the doctor is a major ordeal for a person who doesn't drive or own a vehicle. Community Thread helps individuals like Bob and Artis have access to medical appointments so they stay healthy and active.
Oh, my favorite activity would be playing bridge over at the senior center on, well, Friday afternoons, because it's every Friday afternoon. Unless it's a holiday or something.
It's a real friendly place where the activity is, but my favorite part is the food they give us. That is terrific. They put on nice parties, they put on everything, and when it comes to food, I don't miss it. This is another chapter in my life, and it ain't gonna change anything, you know, because I need to go someplace, I got an outlet to go where I want to go. It is a terrific program, and through Kathy and you guys, I have no complaints whatsoever. United Way, they're really supportive of us anyway, in every way.
We are so grateful to Tiki, Lucille, Dorothy's daughters, and Bob and Artis for sharing their personal stories. These are just a few of the folks that have been served by the programs we fund. My hope is that by hearing their personal stories, you'll be inspired to give, volunteer, and really understand the needs of our community. To be sure that the most efficient programs are funded, we work with over 40 volunteers in the community to review grant applications, to make site visits, to do the research, really understand the gaps, the needs in the community. This ensures that every dollar donated is allocated effectively. We live in a beautiful area, and the needs may not be visible to all, but they have grown substantially in the past 5 years here in Washington County. Every dollar helps, every volunteer helps. It all matters. Together we have the power to make a difference, one life at a time.